Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. I've gotten a lot of really good support from you guys out there who are watching and a lot of really good suggestions for future topics for our short videos. And that's what I want to do today is talk about one of the questions that I got from a video that I did on Ned rigs and my favorite Ned rig baits that I like to use a few weeks ago. Specifically, the question was, what size head do I use with the Ned rigs? And to me, this is the most important thing that you can do when fishing Ned rigs. And before I get into it, I just want to remind you guys that if you want to support the channel, you can go into the description, click the link to therealshot.com, get 10% off anything you purchase there with the discount code STEPHAN10. Also, there's a bunch of new lake breakdowns for a bunch of northern lakes that I have done that are up on Fish the Moment's website. The link is also in the description. So if you're looking for a specific lake that you want me to do a lake breakdown on, you can request it either in my comment section or you can go to the website and request a personal lake breakdown. Either way, we're giving away a lot of really good information on a lot of awesome northern fisheries, and I'm enjoying doing those. And on those northern fisheries, guys, if you've got smallmouth and largemouth, one of the best baits that you can use is a Ned rig. So that's a great segue into today's topic. So what I've learned about using different weighted heads is that there's no middle ground. You either want to use super light or you want to use what would be considered extremely heavy for a Ned rig. So personally, what I like to start with are really light heads. I'll use the 16th ounce. I've got here, this is the Fusion 19 half head. This is the 16th ounce, which is a super light jig head. Like, we don't use that much with any sort of baits that we throw. But the thing is, when you're throwing it on a Ned rig style bait, what happens is that little head pulls that bait down relatively quickly. When you consider the shape of the bait, it's just a little missile and it falls to the bottom. The thing is, if you can get away with an extremely light head, you're going to impart some action on that bait. It's not going to fall like a missile. It's going to kind of move around almost like a tube would fall. Sometimes they'll spiral, sometimes they'll just swim back and forth. Other times they'll glide. Those are all really good fish attracting motions, in my opinion. They all kind of represent a dying bait fish. The thing is, a dying bait fish does not fall straight to the bottom. A dying bait fish may flutter around, so that's why I like that slower fall. So anytime I'm starting out with a Ned rig, I will always go with a very light head. And so for me, a fall rate that I'm looking for is roughly a second a foot. So if you're in 10 foot of water, it takes a while for that bait to get there. So I'm looking, for a 10 foot fishing, if I'm throwing on a 10 foot flat, I'm looking for my bait to take 8 to 10 seconds to get there. That's how light I want it to be. And that's because I'm looking for a bait that's just nice, slowly falling to the bottom. It's a very slow fall to try to get from a Ned rig. The thing is, that's my #1 way to generate bites. And I think you get those bites because you impart a little bit of action into the bait. For me, I'm not fishing that bait long on the bottom. Once it hits the bottom, I'll hop it a few times, drag it a little bit, but I'm probably going to retrieve it back in and make another cast. So most of my bites are coming on the fall when I'm doing that. That fall will draw fish from a long distance away. Generally, if I'm fishing a Ned rig, I'm fishing relatively clear water, so I know those fish can see it. Especially if I'm fishing smallmouth lakes, at that point, they may come from 15 feet away to eat that bait. That's why I like that slow fall. Here's the complete opposite though, guys. And I can't tell you how often I've seen this work. If I know I'm around fish and I can't get them to commit with a slow fall, so, with today's forward-facing sonars, like with the active target, I can tell if fish are looking at it. And a lot of times I'll see fish come up to it and not eat it. So the best way to trigger those fish into eating it is to do the complete opposite. You put on a heavy weight. I'm talking a 1/4, 3/8 ounce, and you let that thing fall as fast as it can to the bottom. What that's going to do is it's going to make those fish that were coming up and looking at my bait have to commit to it or not even look at it. most of the time at that point they will come. If they come at it at all, they're coming and eating it because it's moving so fast that they can't afford to let it get by. This is something that I think if you go and watch, there are some other anglers out there who are doing this, and they are doing it extremely successfully. One of those anglers is probably one of the best in the world. Jacob Wheeler has gone on a crazy roll throwing a Ned rig, and he's throwing a very heavy head, and that's what he's doing. He's very efficient because he can get his bait to the fish, and he's making those fish commit, which are starting to see a lot of Ned rigs. Like, a Ned rig is such a common bait on a lot of lakes that those fish are getting used to it. So the best way to get them to react is to make it fall as fast as possible. So for me, anytime I'm going out, if I'm Ned rig fishing, I've usually got two heads on. I've got a super light one and a super heavy one because I either want a slow fall or an extremely fast fall. That's, to me, the most important thing you can do when you're Ned rig fishing. The baits are all important, but the most important thing is the head weight. So I hope this was helpful, guys. If it was, hit that like button. Stay tuned. We got more videos coming out tomorrow.